Euphoria didn't just disappear, it quietly unraveled. For years, there were no real updates, no clear direction, just long stretches of silence that slowly changed how people felt about the show. What once felt untouchable started to feel unstable. And now, with Season 3 finally taking shape, it's clear this isn't just a continuation. It's a high-risk reset that's already dividing fans before a single episode has aired. For a long time, the absence spoke louder than any teaser ever could. After Season 2 ended, expectations were sky-high, but months turned into years with nothing solid to hold on to. No trailers, no release window. Just vague interviews and half-answers that made it feel like the show was drifting without a plan. Online, people stopped asking when Season 3 was coming, and started asking if it was coming at all. The confidence that Euphoria would always return eventually faded into suspicion. Something felt off, and fans could sense it. That unease grew louder when the conversation kept circling back to Sam Levinson. After the backlash surrounding the idol, trust in his creative direction took a hit. Viewers questioned whether Euphoria could survive another intense, controversial chapter under the same leadership. Some worried the show had lost its emotional grounding. Others feared it would lean even harder into chaos without purpose. Either way, the silence suddenly made sense. It didn't feel like patience, it felt like hesitation. The first real cracks showed when casting details started to leak. When HBO released an early cast list, several familiar names were missing, and fans immediately went into overdrive. Every omission felt intentional, even when it wasn't. Dominic Fike's absence sparked weeks of debate until his team confirmed he was returning, only for confusion to continue when his name still wasn't officially acknowledged. It wasn't just messy, it felt disorganized, like communication had broken down behind the scenes. That tension only grew when Storm Reid confirmed she wouldn't be returning as Rue's sister. For fans, that wasn't just a casting change. It felt like a structural shift. Rue's family has always been her emotional tether, the last thing grounding her when everything else falls apart. With her sister gone and her mom's return uncertain for a while, people started asking uncomfortable questions. What does Rue's life even look like now? Who's left to pull her back when she spirals? The idea of Rue existing without those anchors made the upcoming season feel darker before we even knew the plot. When it was finally confirmed that Rue's mom would return, the relief was immediate. Fans were vocal about how essential that relationship is to the story. Without it, Rue's journey wouldn't just be tragic, it would feel hollow. But even with that reassurance, the damage was done. The shaky rollout had already planted doubt, and every new update felt like it needed to earn back trust. Then filming began, and suddenly the silence was replaced by leaks. But these didn't feel like the flashy, aesthetic-driven sightings from earlier seasons. They felt heavier. Zendaya and Alexa Demi were spotted filming together at a diner, and that single image sent fans into a frenzy. Not because it looked dramatic, but because it suggested reconnection. After everything that happened between Rue and Maddie, the idea that they'd cross paths again felt loaded with unresolved tension. People weren't excited because it looked fun. They were excited because it looked uncomfortable. Another leaked clip showed Zendaya yelling at a new character, someone audiences haven't even met yet. The energy wasn't chaotic for the sake of it. It was raw and confrontational, like something had already gone very wrong before the story even begins. These glimpses didn't promise spectacle. They promised consequences. Then came the image that completely reframed the conversation. Sydney Sweeney was spotted filming in a full wedding dress. Veil, gown, the whole thing. Instantly, theories exploded. Was it a dream? A flash forward? A fantasy sequence meant to mess with viewers? Or was Cassie actually getting married? The idea alone felt unhinged, and that's exactly why people couldn't stop talking about it. Cassie walking down the aisle doesn't read as growth. It reads as escalation, especially when you factor in who she's with. Nate and Cassie marrying feels less like a happy ending and more like a psychological trap snapping shut. Nate is wealthy, powerful, and deeply controlling. Cassie is emotionally fragile, obsessed with image and desperate to be chosen. Together, they don't balance each other. They amplify the worst parts. Fans immediately labeled them a disaster waiting to explode, and the fascination comes from knowing it won't stay stable for long. While Cassie's life appears settled on the surface, Rue's storyline takes a sharp turn in the opposite direction. Sam Levinson confirmed that Season 3 jumps ahead 4 years, pushing the characters out of high school and into the aftermath of their choices. For Rue, that aftermath is brutal. The season reportedly opens with her living in Mexico, deeply in debt to Lori and scrambling to survive. This isn't addiction framed through beauty and music anymore. It's danger. It's pressure closing in from every side. Fans are already split over this direction. Some see it as a bold move that finally strips away the glamour and forces Rue to face real consequences. Others are worried it crosses a line, turning suffering into spectacle again. What makes it more unsettling is how isolated Rue's story seems to be. She's no longer embedded in the group dynamic. She's alone, geographically and emotionally, and that isolation feels intentional. The time jump doesn't just age the characters, it fractures them. Jules is attending art school but struggling with anxiety and avoidance, unsure of her future and afraid to commit to anything too permanent. Maddie has moved to Hollywood, working at a talent agency and juggling side hustles, staying busy as a way to avoid slowing down. Lexi is working as an assistant to a powerful showrunner played by Sharon Stone, turning her chaotic past into something she can control. Everyone is moving forward but not together. What's striking is how little overlap there seems to be between their lives now. Fans have complained for a while that the characters barely interact anymore, and Season 3 seems to lean into that separation instead of fixing it. Even when connections do happen, like Rue and Maddie filming together, it feels rare and loaded with meaning. These aren't friend group scenes anymore, they're collisions. Behind the scenes, that fragmentation mirrors how the season is being made. Multiple cast members have confirmed that scripts are being kept under extreme lockdown. Scenes are separated. Major plot points are redacted. Actors don't know what's happening in each other's storylines. Sydney Sweeney admitted she has no idea what Rue or Maddie's full arcs look like. Jacob Elordi later confirmed that parts of his script were literally blacked out. That level of secrecy is new for Euphoria, and it's risky. On one hand, it's clearly an attempt to stop leaks and control the narrative after years of chaos. On the other, it raises questions about trust and cohesion. When actors don't understand the full story, performances can become disconnected. The show risks feeling fragmented because it actually is fragmented behind the scenes. At the same time, rumors suggest that some of that control came from the cast themselves. After years of delays, rewrites, and emotional exhaustion, there was reportedly a push for more structure on set. Filming Euphoria is intense. The roles are heavy. The gaps between seasons are long. The public scrutiny never stops. Some insiders claim certain actors didn't want to return unless changes were made to make production feel more stable and professional. Fans are split on that too. Some argue that tighter structure will help the show mature and avoid the messy excesses of the past. Others believe that chaos is part of Euphoria's DNA, and cleaning it up too much could strip away what made it feel raw and dangerous. That tension between control and chaos now defines Season 3, both on-screen and off. The biggest debate centers on how much Sam Levinson has revealed already. By confirming the time jump, the Mexico storyline, and Cassie and Nate's marriage, some fans feel he's given away too much too soon. They worry the suspense is gone before the season even starts. Others think after such a long wait, clarity was necessary just to prove the show is real and moving forward. And maybe that's the point. For years, people believed Euphoria was never coming back. Now, everything is dropping at once, and it's overwhelming by design. The leaks, the confirmations, the spoilers, the secrecy, it all creates a sense of instability that mirrors the story itself. Nothing feels safe. Nothing feels predictable. Even Jacob Elordi's relationship with the show has become a topic of speculation. Early interviews made fans think he was burned out, detached, maybe even ready to move on. Comparisons to his checked-out energy during the kissing booth era spread quickly, but more recently his tone has shifted. He's described Season 3 as wild and worth the wait, suggesting something changed along the way. That shift has given fans cautious hope. If the cast is reinvesting emotionally, maybe the story is finally locked in. Add to that rumors of a darker visual style, heavier lighting, and more grounded cinematography, and Season 3 starts to feel less like a repetition of the past and more like a reckoning with it. One of the most intriguing arcs might belong to Lexi. Working under a legendary showrunner, she's reportedly developing a series inspired by her own high school experiences. It's meta, personal, and potentially explosive. Fans believe this could open the door to flashbacks, old faces, and unresolved trauma resurfacing in unexpected ways. For someone who's always been on the sidelines, this could be her moment to take control of the narrative. Meanwhile, whispers suggest Maddie's Hollywood life isn't as clean as it looks. Rumors hint at clients with questionable connections and side hustles that could pull her back into dangerous territory. There's even speculation that one of her paths could cross with Rue's storyline in Mexico, tying their separate worlds together in a way no one sees coming. None of this is officially confirmed, and that uncertainty is fueling the obsession. Some leaks even suggest a possible mid-season time jump, pushing the story even further ahead to show where everyone truly ends up. The idea alone has fans panicking. If Euphoria commits to that kind of structural risk, it could either elevate the show or completely alienate its audience. That's the reality of Season 3. There's no middle ground. People are already calling it either the comeback of the decade or the moment the show finally crashes out. And the most unsettling part is that both outcomes feel equally possible. At its core, Season 3 doesn't seem interested in comfort or nostalgia. The characters are older, lonelier, and carrying heavier consequences. Relationships are fractured. Safety nets are gone. What once felt like shared chaos now feels like parallel isolation. And that shift might be the most honest evolution the show has ever attempted. Whether it works or not remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: Euphoria isn't trying to be the same show it was before. It's pushing forward under pressure, secrecy, and expectation, daring its audience to follow. And even the people who swore they were done are watching closely now, because whatever happens next, it won't be ignored.